In this video, I'm going to react to weird facts about the female body. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this should be very interesting because as a guy, you know, I at least have a relatively low sort of knowledge about the female body, the female anatomy. So this video should kind of, you know, explain a few things to me. Like one day if I have a daughter, it'll probably help me out as well in that regard. So yeah, to be honest, it's going to probably fill in a lot of knowledge gaps in my mind. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to weird facts about the female body. Let's do it.
The human body is undoubtedly an incredible thing, but the female body is extra amazing. Not only can the female body grow entire human beings from scratch, ensuring the survival of our entire species in the process, but women's bodies can do plenty of other crazy, impressive, and downright strange things. You won't believe some of these incredible and weird facts about the female body. It's a well-documented fact that women tend to live longer than men. While American men can expect to live until the age of 76, the life expectancy for an American woman is a full 5 years longer.
Wow, I wonder why that is. Could it be down to maybe the choices of employment, diet, maybe? I don't know. 5 years is a lot.
At age 81, there are many reasons for the difference in life expectancy between men and women. It's not just that women tend to take less risks than men. One of the major factors is the fact that women are better at fighting off infections than men. The female immune system is stronger than the immune system of men, thanks to the fact that the hormone estrogen suppresses an enzyme that can get in the way of our body's defenses against bacteria and viruses. Women can also thank their higher levels of estrogen for being significantly better at surviving traumatic injuries than men. Women recover faster from their injuries and are more resistant to infection.
Women recover faster from their injuries. I would never have guessed. Interesting. I would have thought it would be just even, you know, even Stevens, depending on nutrition and, you know, maybe supplements and things like that, diet choice.
Not sure why exactly this is the case, but it might be the female body's way of providing extra protection for any children the women might be carrying. Plus, regular sex can help boost a woman's immune system even more.
Oh, interesting.
There's plenty of anecdotal evidence to suggest that men and women think differently, but the science shows that there are actually differences between the male and female brain. For one thing, women regularly outdo men on memory tests. It turns out that women aren't just better at remembering to-do lists, but are also better than men at remembering names and faces. And it's not just remembering faces that women excel at. They're better at reading them too. Women can read emotional cues from facial expressions much more accurately than men, which might be why they tend to be more emphatic on average. Science has also conclusively proven what we already know, that women are better listeners than men. Researchers at the Indiana University School of Medicine used an fMRI machine to track brain activity while participants listened to someone read aloud a passage from a novel. As the men listened, the left side of their brain, the area associated with listening and speech, showed increased activity. Women, however, showed activity in both the left and the right side, the side associated with creativity and expression. In fact, women use both sides of their brain much more often than men do, which could be why they tend to be so much better at multitasking. Women don't just listen better, they're also better with words than men. Women have larger...
I hope that, you know, these claims are like based on like studies where loads of people from different communities and ethnicities and things like that, just so it's as wide a sample size as possible. Because if you're just taking a group of American women and American men, it might not be accurate for the whole planet, if you know what I mean.
Frontal and temporal lobes, the brain regions associated with language skills, which might account for why women speak an average of 20,000 words per day, 13,000 more than the average man speaks in a day.
Wow.
This brings a whole new meaning to the phrase "a man of few words." And in case you were wondering, the science also points to women actually being the more rational sex. So much for that stereotype. However, it's not all good news in the brain department. Period cramps aren't just a physical pain, they also mess with a woman's mind. Cramps and other PMS symptoms can be incredibly distracting and can temporarily prevent a woman's brain from working at its full potential. Men and women also see the world differently. Literally, a mutation on the X chromosome allows about 40% of women to see a much broader range of colors in the red-orange family, while many men are actually Christmas colorblind, meaning they have a hard time distinguishing between red and green.
I mean, this is something that I've thought about before. Like, imagine being colorblind and you just don't know, because it would be because your whole life you would have been that way. There might be colors that you've never seen before, like that I've never seen. Like, maybe I should get tested, because it'd be sad to like discover that there's this whole spectrum of color that I've never been able to see before, just because of some kind of mutation, I think he said, in the brain or in the eye.
Women also blink more often than men. And speaking of eyes, it's absolutely true that women cry more often than men. Adult women cry an average of 5.3 times per month, while men average only 1.4 times. But it's not just hormones or the fact that it's more socially acceptable for a woman to cry. There's a biological reason for this too. Women have larger tear ducts than men, and they have 50 to 60% more of the hormone prolactin, which is primarily responsible for lactation but also controls our tears. Neither sex can claim a superior sense of smell, but research shows that women are better at learning and distinguishing different smells. One study even showed that women can tell when their partner is stressed by sniffing one of their dirty t-shirts.
No way. What? Like Wolverine, like, he's upset. He's close.
Women might have the edge when it comes to taste though, thanks to an abundance of taste buds compared to men. Men may be stronger than women on average, but women can claim more endurance than men. In some studies, women can last up to 75% longer than men in stamina-related exercise.
Wow.
Once again, women can thank their higher levels of estrogen, which makes their muscles more resistant to fatigue, something that definitely comes in handy during childbirth. Women are also more flexible than men, thanks to increased levels of elastin in their muscles and tendons, a protein that allows muscles and even organs to stretch.
Wow.
Yet another useful feature during pregnancy and childbirth. Women's bodies are also structurally different than men. The lower part of a woman's spine curves over the last 3 vertebrae versus just the last 2 in men, and they have a greater range of motion in their pelvic area. All of this makes women much more flexible and also helps accommodate the carrying and birthing of a baby.
Yeah, so these things are probably a result of, the hundreds and thousands of years of human evolution, just to make the continuation of, the human race as easy as possible, regarding childbirth and stuff.
Women's skin is also different from men's. Women's skin is much more sensitive due to being 25% thinner than men's skin.
Wow,
Unfortunately, that also
25%.
means that women's skin is more prone to wrinkles thanks to a loss of collagen as they age. Women also have more guts than men. Really, the lower part of their colon is longer in women than men. Women also have more stuff crammed into their lower abdomen. Between their digestive tract and their reproductive organs, there's less room for things to expand, which might be why women tend to experience more digestive distress than men. Thankfully, women seem to be pretty good at managing their pain, thanks again to the extra estrogen coursing through their bodies, which acts as a natural pain reliever. However, during some parts of their cycle, when estrogen is at its lowest levels, women actually feel more pain than men do. Wow. Some studies suggest that women's threshold for pain is actually 9 times stronger than men's. Perception is a big part of it. While men tend to get stressed when thinking about their past pain, women seem to forget about their pain much faster. This might be a protective mechanism.
Yeah, I wish I had that. Do you ever get a flashback from some embarrassing moment and you're just like, oh God, I actually said that. I wish I could just erase that. If it comes to my mind, I'm just like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? That'd be a useful feature.
To help women forget just how awful childbirth is. Women may be able to handle their pain, but they aren't as good at handling their alcohol as men. And it's not just because women tend to be smaller than men on average. Women have less of the stomach enzymes that break down the ethanol in the alcohol and less water in their bodies to dilute the booze, so even when adjusted for body size, a woman will have a higher blood alcohol content than a man after consuming the same amount of alcohol. Keen observers might have noticed a trend in a lot of these incredible facts about the female body. Many of the things that make women's bodies different than men's have to do with the fact that a woman's body is designed to carry and birth babies. Without a doubt, the ability to grow an entire human from scratch is the most amazing thing about the female body. Some of the weirdest facts about the human body have to do with the reproductive system.
It's actually, crazy when I think about the fact that, literally another human who's going to have, friends, like experiences, everything that a person has can get created out of like virtually nothing. It's just it's a miracle, honestly. It really is. It really is.
A woman is born with all the eggs she will ever have in her lifetime. Before she's even born, a female fetus will have 6 to 7 million eggs.
Wow.
But by the time she's born, that number has already dropped dramatically to just 1 to 2 million eggs. By puberty, she's down to 400,000 eggs. And by her late 30s, a woman will only have 20,000 eggs left.
What? Wow. Late 30s, it's already gone down to 20,000. Interesting.
By the time she hits menopause in her 50s, a woman has just 1,000 eggs left in her reproductive system. Once released, an egg can survive for days in a woman's fallopian tubes, and since sperm can survive for up to 5 days in the reproductive tract, we can see why birth control is so popular. The uterus is an incredibly elastic organ. During pregnancy, a woman's uterus grows from the size of an orange to the size of a watermelon in just 9 months, pushing her other organs out of the way and up into a rib cage in the process. During labor, the uterus exerts pressure of nearly 400 pounds per square foot during contractions. During pregnancy, a woman's cervix is tightly closed to keep the baby inside and protect it from the outside world. During labor, though, the cervix stretches to become the baby's gateway to the world. To even begin pushing, the cervix must be dilated to 10 centimeters, about the size of a bagel, and it can get even larger to accommodate the baby's head.
The way he pronounced bagel. 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 I don't know why I find it so funny.
As it's delivered. The average woman will have around 450 periods during her lifetime and will use up to 15,000 menstrual products over her lifespan. Before the invention of the disposable menstrual pad in the 1890s, women used some pretty weird methods to deal with their periods. Women would use rags, cotton, sheep wool, rabbit's fur, even grass to stem the flow of menstrual blood. In ancient Rome and Greece, women would wrap lint around a piece of wood to make homemade tampons. Despite how it might seem, women don't actually lose that much blood during their period. They typically only lose around 4 tablespoons of blood in total over the course of their entire period. That's the not-so-good news about the female reproductive system, but never fear, there's plenty of reproductive advantages to the female body, especially when it comes to sex. Not only is it true that women can have multiple orgasms, but the female clitoris alone
Man, I'm so jealous of that. Very jealous.
has 8,000 nerve endings, more than double the number of nerve endings in the entire penis. The clitoris also serves no biological purpose other than to bring women pleasure. It also grows over time, meaning that sex actually gets better for women the older they get. An orgasm can
Very interesting. This has given me a lot of food for thought.
also help relieve the pain of period cramps. That seems like the least nature could do to make up for the annoyance of periods, the discomfort of pregnancy, and the pain of childbirth. Weirdly, the part of the brain that gets aroused during sex is the very same part of the brain that lights up when a woman is craving a specific food. Although it might be hardly noticeable, one breast is always larger than the other. No woman has perfectly identically sized breasts. This last fact might just be the weirdest of them all. What do sharks and vaginas have in common? Now, this might sound like the setup for a dirty joke, but it's 100% true. The natural lubricant in the vagina is made up of many things, including sweat, mucus, and something called squalene. Squalene is not unique to humans. It's also found in the liver of sharks and is a common ingredient in moisturizers. Recent research also suggests that squalene can help protect skin from the harsh effects of chemotherapy. Who knew that sharks and vaginas had so much in common? Given all the amazing and impressive things that the female body can do, it should come as no surprise that women actually need more sleep than men. Although they tend to follow a more Eastern circadian rhythm, and wake up earlier than men on average, women actually require an extra 20 minutes of sleep each night just to keep their amazing bodies going. The human body is truly a marvel, but the female body is a whole other level of impressive, as those weird facts about the female body clearly illustrate. If you thought this video was interesting, you'll definitely want to check out our...
That was a really interesting video. I mean, the fact that women have 9 times, the pain threshold of women is 9 times stronger than men's is really fascinating to me. But then again, it does make sense because, you know, childbirth must be such a painful experience. You know, you're literally like forcing out another human being, you know, so the pain threshold of that individual, of that woman, must be sufficient so that it's not just an absolutely unbearable, you know, experience, even though in all likelihood it probably still is really painful. And I didn't know that women had such a larger life expectancy. You know, 81 compared to men at 76. That's a lot. Five whole years. I mean, really interesting. You know, there must be a lot of factors that go into that. But yeah, this was a really interesting video, really fascinating. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.